What up, collective, and welcome to another channel podcast. This one is on Corey Micciolo. Hope I'm saying that correct. Corey Micciolo was a 6-year-old boy from New Jersey who died from blunt force trauma in April 2021. His death was ruled a homicide, and his father, Christopher Gregor, was convicted of aggravated manslaughter and child endangerment in May 2024. These are the events surrounding Corey's death. Treadmill incident. On March 20th, 2021, surveillance video from Gregor's apartment gym showed him forcing Corey to run on a treadmill at an increasing speeds. Corey fell off multiple times and Gregor repeatedly put him back on. Abuse reports ignored. Corey's mother, Brianna, had filed over 100 reports of suspected abuse with Child Protective Services over an 18-month period. She has since sued the agency for failing to protect her son. Just one day before his death, Brianna's request for emergency custody was denied by a judge. Wow. Corey was returned to his father on April 2nd, 2021. Corey woke up from a nap with symptoms including nausea, slurred speech, and difficulty breathing. Gregor took the boy to the hospital where he died. And I also want to say, when his father took him to the hospital, he left because he knew that he was responsible for taking his life. And this case brought me to tears. I have looked into a lot of different true crime cases, and there's only a few that really make me cry. Okay, and this one, it's just, when you look at how much she tried, his mother, and just how much the system is rigged, okay? And I'm hearing rigged to serve pedophiles up until today, which you know what that means. Transmuting time. But let's see just the energies. I would recommend you guys look into the full story because there's just a lot of details in it. I'm just going to be going into what Spirit would like to say surrounding it, as well as Corey coming through. I heard I'm 8 years old. So they're still childlike on the other side to me, and I feel like there's this energy of wishing they were able to become a teenager, because when they were alive, they had a drawing towards something that could have helped Mother Gaia. And I am hearing something about science. I know that they said in the video that I watched that he was into science, I believe, and earth and things like that. And he is definitely coming up to me as a starseed. I'm just trying to find the video so that you guys can watch it. I think his name on YouTube is Dark History. But yeah, you guys can look into that. I'll link it later, but let me pull up a picture. All right, so he tried to love both parents equally. Both of them, in his mind, were toxic, okay? And he is bringing up that his mother would also be abusive towards him as well, because I'm hearing she wouldn't play with me anymore. She wouldn't mean to be that way to him, though. I feel like this is just how he felt like leading up to him passing. Like, nobody wants me type of energy. And I also feel him feeling almost daisy, okay, like daze, like in a daze. A lot of the time they were siphoning energy off of him too, like because of the fact that both parents had ties to something that was lowering their vibration. So I know that the mom had substance abuse problems, and he is bringing up that he could tell the difference of when she would be sober and when she wouldn't, because when she would be sober, she couldn't wait to like leave him with his father. She would force me to go and I didn't have to go. I'm hearing that. But she would say that it's because of the courts, but there are a lot of people also who aren't really missing, but staying with a parent that they can't see anymore because of the court. So that's something that Spirit is also stepping in to say in his higher self, Corey's higher self. It's crazy, but there are people who have to kidnap their own children, and it would be times even where I think I've seen Amber Alerts, and it end up they'll be with the other parent or another family member, and he feels like she was very selective when she would fight for him. Okay, and I have to say, this is just what I'm picking up spiritually, not trying to ruffle anybody's feathers, but yeah, and she is very responsible for him passing because she knew, and also I feel like she was there at the house, because I know that they said that she stayed with the father sometimes to like keep an eye on him. No, that was when they were back together. So he's saying, if you're gonna tell the truth, tell the whole truth. So that's wow. That's what he's coming through and saying. Okay, I feel like if he would have been here, he would have been very much a leader in some sort of way. Let's see, May. Yeah, that's a Taurus. I was like, yeah. He would have been outspoken for the right reasons, and these entities that were attached to his parents could tell that, could smell that on him. So he was always the target. And, you know, if you've ever been with a narcissistic parent, wounded parent, let's just say that narcissism is coming from wounds and abuse, okay? And I would just know, like, she would just be coming to destroy my happiness. Like, I could feel it. Like, me and my niece, when my mom would come home, we would run into our room, or we would just get like really like sharp and like not try to like deal with that energy, and it's just like energy drainer. And a lot of you guys have had parents like that, where especially older generation. And in terms of his father, Corey's father, let me go to his name. Corey's father is from the baby boomer era, and I was looking into that era and the abuse that they went, you know, there was no freedom in expression, especially for men. And that is also something that was being highlighted to me, how controlled they wanted everyone to be. And if you were a rebel, you were misbehaving. And I was seeing how that trickled down to Corey's father, who was looking very draconian to me. Very draconian to me. Yeah, Christopher. Okay, Christopher Gregor. Ooh. And even to this day, like, the mom is still, she's obviously, she was very hurt at first, I'm hearing, but now she's not. There's a sense of her needing to get some sort of karma, okay? Like, that is how Corey feels. Like, there's an anger, or there was an anger towards his mother when he first passed away, because he pleaded, he begged. I mean, like, if he could have went in kicking and screaming, he would have, but he was very well behaved, and he loved his mom, he loved his dad, he tried to love them as much as possible, which is why I feel he passed on, because he was having like headaches or something for days and was keeping quiet about it, because things were peaceful. So I feel like when things were peaceful, he was taught to just forget about everything that happened. And there is a sense of spirit saying she could have tried harder, but that's where he needs a little bit of healing. There's definitely an imprint of regret. For not listening to his mother. Wow, so that's messed up. So I feel like when he would do little things, she would be like, do you want me to call your father? And knowing what he was doing. So, and she may say that she didn't do that, but I don't think that she recalls certain things. There's something here where she would forget things, because now it's like I don't even remember that. So I feel like this is a conversation directly to his mother, that now that I'm older, I understand that you are not a victim completely, okay? Because there's a lot of her playing the victim. And you could have tried harder. Because I think they did say there was some sexual abuse going on there, and I definitely do feel something here where he is definitely not wanting to talk about it, though. Or when he was here, he would not want to talk about it. There was a lot of shame about that. This is just awful. And the thing that I'm getting is the father. So basically, Corey's grandfather on his father's side is pedophilic like this. You don't just get that from nowhere. When you have some sort of sexual kink or sexual thing, it's not just, yes, it can come from porn, watching porn, but a lot of us even feel drawn to certain things like that because of some sort of sexual perversion within the bloodline. And I do feel his bloodline needs to be purified, because that's what he was supposed to do. When he was here, he was supposed to be different. And this got cut short. Yes, because he didn't, it's not his fault at all, but there's a vibe of like spirit really communicating to him, speak. Like, I feel like he would see spirits actually, and they would tell him, tell your mom. And I think that's how he even started to tell her certain things, because spirit was trying to encourage him. Okay, so there's like a very deep connection to source that they have, like a lot of these children do. That they're being targeted, but this is all about to be under investigation. CPS needed to be under investigation. They also, one thing I am seeing is that they didn't give it to her because she wasn't passing something. So she was supposed to be sober for a while before she could get her son. And I don't think that she was able to do it, so that's why I feel like there was an energy of Corey coming through, his soul coming through and saying kind of on her too. And that's why it's important to just not even, when you have children, work through all of that before. It's not easy, with what we just came out of, but we're moving into a time of do better. That's what the age of Aquarius is about. If you meet an Aquarius, they're very straightforward and blunt like that. Do better. Pisces is all dreamy excuses. Okay, we don't really see everything. We don't really know. But now something is about to be even more exposed about just how corrupt foster care is. Like, people don't listen because it's like, but oh my God, but what's crazy is I'm getting something here with I don't even want to, let's just say human farming is literally exactly what it sounds like. So how you have animal farms and you have to slaughter the animals and drain the blood and take the organs out and package the meat. I'm gonna just put it there. Let you do the rest. If you guys have listened to my podcast further back, reason I'm being more coded is because these go on YouTube now. So yeah. And these are things that he's helping with on the other side, because he was soon to be in foster care or in a situation like that. Because had the father had not put him on that treadmill, because that was the turning point, I am seeing that. It's like his heart just, I'm feeling like a tear in his heart. Like it's just beating so hard that it just tears. I guess that's what they mean by, is that like a thing, like a tear in the heart, a laceration? And he's just, tired a lot. Extremely tired. I'm trying to see, this doesn't really feel, what is this blunt force? He doesn't even, it's like when he's there, it's just, oh my gosh, he's just like a punching bag for them. And I'm so sorry, this may not be for everybody to listen to. A punching bag to them. So I know that Corey lived with his father and his grandparents in the same house. And I just feel like the grandparents didn't know what was going on. So I feel like when Corey is going over there and staying there, they're asking him, is everything okay? And he's just like, yeah. Like, he's just very, like, quiet and well-behaved, Like, it's almost like he feels like a dog. Like, just how the father feels about him, like a pet that he has to take care of. And he was primarily in his mom's custody. And also the story behind that is his mom became pregnant with Corey when she was very young. I think she was like 16, 17, in her late teens. And the father was a lot older. So it would have been considered, assault, rape. But I don't know the whole story. I don't remember. I think it was consensual, or she was under the influence or something. But she did not really plan to have Corey, long story short. And this is what I mean by a lot of chosen ones, we're pulled into families just like this where our parents don't get along. There's a lot of karma on both sides of the family, addictions, sexual perversions. He was tasked with a mission that still has to be done because his bloodline is connected to something deep, like royalty. Like, I just pulled the Empress. Like, you know, a lot of chosen ones, true chosen ones, were hidden in plain sight. You know, nobody really knows us like that. But those who do know us, we make an impact, you know, and that's how he was supposed to be. That's how he already was. And I almost feel like, too, like, her father lived through him. So her mom's father, so her great-grandfather, his mom's great-grandfather was Corey or something, because there's like a fatherly, paternal type of energy. And that's why they had such a strong bond, because it feels like he was already watching her from the other side and working to heal what was passed down to her through Corey. So children are like gifts like that. But even still, there's a sense of being ashamed of him at first, you know, because she did have him young. And the emotional connection, he was mainly trying to get affection from her, and I think that she was always never really present. But they did spend time together. No. He's like, no, we didn't. We didn't spend time together. So when the father says that the mom is like this druggie and things like that, I do feel like there's a slight truth. But as I said, both parties are not really being honest to each other, you know, about what's going on. So I feel like she would post pictures and they would look happy together, and then she would go back to her room. Like I feel like she would do things on social media to look like a good mother. Okay, I'm sorry, that's just how I'm hearing it. And he never really got the attention that he did get attention from his mom when she was, I just keep hearing high or in a better place emotionally. There's a lot that mother trauma here. And I think the reason that that's coming through a lot is because he wasn't supposed to have his father in his life. And it's kind of reminding me of how, like, my dad disappeared for all those years, and then me reconnecting and finding out he's a Jehovah's Witness. And I knew he was, but he was always like strict religiously, and I was just imagining how it would have been if I kept living with him. But it wasn't destined for me to necessarily have a father in that way, because my father was going to be spirit. And I feel like that is what was supposed to happen for Corey. And I feel like the mom knows that. There's a lot where spirit wants her to know that she was being greedy, or she brought him into it, because the father wasn't even paying attention. Like I said, he was not even in Corey's life for the first 5 years. I think I said that. So he was new. It's like you can't just thrust him upon his father and he doesn't know his father, you know, and it's almost just like giving him to a stranger. And yeah, deep down, she has to face that if she wants to bring him through again. Wow. So if because she does miss him deeply, don't get me wrong. Even when I first was learning about this case, I could feel her grief, and I could only imagine, because with addiction, I feel like that's also why this case found me, is because when you're addicted, you do become very selfish, but also it's a spiritual thing, and it's so hard to explain that to people, where I'm sure she 100% wanted to be sober, but she was pulled back into those cycles. And that's where the family needs to heal, and I feel like they do deserve another chance, because he's supposed to come through and do something for NASA, or do something. So I wouldn't be surprised that if it's really meant for her, that she becomes pregnant again with maybe a girl this time, so that he can evade something. It's hard to be a man. I'm hearing that it's hard to be a boy in these timelines right now. Wow. Maybe that's why so many people are turning gay. Okay, I'm sorry. But yeah, people are afraid of the masculinity. That does make sense. It's so much perversion in the bloodlines of and shout out to the men out here being men, okay? Because it's not to say women don't have issues, but yeah, I totally feel that. Totally feel that. So this is kind of like a do-over inquiry, I feel, because it's going to be for the greater good of all. So I will pray that if that's what's meant to happen, that, it's able to go through. Because, excuse me, I'm not sure if she's had any children since. But even if she has, I feel like he's supposed to come through again. But she has to take accountability for how she's much stronger than she thinks, and that's what Corey was supposed to show her, is that she could have tackled being a single mother, because eventually she would have sobered up and met the one who was actually meant to co-parent and be there for him. So that's a shout out to single mothers out there where the father is toxic. I'm hearing to hold that spot for someone who's really going to love your child, and someone who's really going to take care of them as if they're their own. Because sometimes there are contracts out there where it's meant to be like that. Like, I know my mom, she had gotten married, and that was my stepfather. She had like little different boyfriends, but that was my stepfather, and he was actually very healing, very bringing in what true masculine energy should be: gentle, calm, providing, and emotionally in touch, still in touch with his feminine energy, but strong, and that's what was supposed to happen, it feels like. Yeah. Cause wait, no, hold on. Cause I heard I'm 8 years old, so hold on. That's about right. He would be like 8 or 9 now. He would have been, oh my gosh. I just kept seeing she would have loved me when I was a teenager. I'm hearing that. Like, I would have been her best friend. I would have been her best friend. I'm hearing that. I feel like he already was in ways, but again, there's something that couldn't really be explored in depthly because both parents were distracted. Regardless of what she says, that's how he felt, or that's kind of the overlying spiritual energy of it. See what else. I feel like his dad. I'm hearing my dad. Yeah, his dad did. So when he. Okay, the energy just shifted. Okay, the energy just shifted. Oh, he would be so mad. Oh my God. I feel like his dad would like put him in uncomfortable positions. And I mean like physically. So I feel like he would bend his arm, bend his leg back, bend like very deranged and psychotic energy, just grabbing him up when he's playing, snatching him up off the ground and just tossing him around. Like, I'm trying to look into why the father is acting this way towards Corey. I know we got into the fact that it's the generational thing, but like, let's move it to like the present thought process. Like, oh, I think I know. So it's like a weird, I'm gonna make you feel what I felt as a kid, but you don't really notice it. Like, what they're showing me is like how sometimes like with my girl cat, I'll be like teasing her and stuff, and like, you know, she's so small and petite, so like I'll pick her up and I'll be like in her chest, and knowing that, you know, she doesn't really like it. And then like kind of like I was thinking back on like how my mom would like poke fun at me and like make these comments, and you know, it's like in my mind when I'm doing it to my cat, I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm just like, this is funny, but like in a subconscious level, I am doing it to kind of like almost like get my lick back energetically, but not really realizing it, you know? And then, you know, more recently being like, she is her own soul, and if this makes her uncomfortable, I have to restrain myself, you know, even though I love her. And it's something like that. It's like, it's a weird thing. It's like a weird thought process where he loves him so much that he can't contain himself. You're like, it feels like that. I know that sounds very strange, but I'm trying to like tap you guys into the mind of how they're thinking. And I'm hearing this entity meant to take Corey, not the father. The father is just it's like something is going in and out, in and out, in and out of him. And I'm not sure if he did steroids or if he did like cocaine, because when I was coming into the energy, I kind of felt like a snorting type of energy, just like, yeah, rage, like a cokehead, you know? See what else is coming up here. The father, wow. So again, we keep going into Corey's father's father. So Corey's grandfather, his grandfather should also be getting some sort of karma for what he should be serving time, because he did that to Christopher, Corey's dad. He did that to him. So, and that's what curse breaking is. Like, once you break the curse, whether on planet, off planet, once you break it, karma goes to who it needs to. So you may notice that when you're going up, certain, like maybe your mom is going down, or your parents are going down, or whoever abused you is going down. It's like, it's just how it works, and you can't step in the way of that. And that's something that Corey kind of did a little bit, because as I said, I think that he wasn't really speaking when he felt certain things, but who could also blame him, you know? It's like they need children to speak up and be protected. So there are a lot of children also where there needs to be an energy work done to help them to be protected as they speak up against their abusers. There are a lot of agents, light agents, coming in the form of children right now, and we cannot afford to not have them here. That's exactly what I'm hearing. Because they're coming fresh from the higher, like really dimensions that have been, traversed by some of us here. Okay, so for us, it's like we're in that same tribe, but we're a part of this collective where we all specifically are doing something to bring in the new world. Yeah, because it really got to be like, if you're going to get in the way, you can die. That's how this energy feels like. No more of this shit. And it's a lot of corrupt things that are about to start being exposed about children because of Corey, because of prayers that this collective has done. There's a thank you that he's giving to, especially my collective, who has been with me for like longer than the last 3 years. And we did the collective meditation. I was seeing that we should be doing another one soon. That is targeting more so helping the children. You know, because I'm hearing it like there's still a chance for them to do what they're supposed to do. These children that are in foster care, in situations where CPS is involved and their parent is tied to some sort of dark Masonic energetic imprint. Yeah, these are children who are doing all they can, and also children who have been soul trapped. Because something about the mission is changing. Certain children are having a hard time activating with where they are. Okay, so that's mainly what I'm getting on this. So I guess that it's a little bit of a call to action, and I will light some candles and pray over all of this, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Peace out.